Okay, hello ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to introduce you to the skull. So wish me luck. Here we go. I'm going to start with the sutures. Right now we have the sagittale sutures, which run here to here. I should probably turn it so you can see it. And then we have the coronal or frontal sutures, which reminds me if you were to wear a tiara or a crown, it's for you right on your head. We have the squamosal sutures, which I'm going to turn a little bit here, and it runs right along here. We have the lambdoidal sutures, which run along the occipital portion of the skull. Now, there's also some sutural bones, which actually are called wormule bones. They're tiny little bones that will run along the lambdoidal suture. We also have the frontal bone, which is right here. The frontal sinuses are found right in here. They kind of look like little butterflies they remind me of. And also we have parietal bones, which are right here. And we have the occipital bone, which is the blue bone right there. And your skull is not this color inside your head, by the way. We also have the foramen magnum, which we're going to flip him over, and it's going to be this right here. Within the foramen magnum, or next to it, we are going to have the occipital condyles. These are these little bones that might be kind of hard to see, but they stick up a little bit. And then we're going to flip again. Somebody's probably going to be getting dizzy, but we have the temporal bone, which is right here. And we have the external auditory meatus, which runs right here, and right on the other side, inside the skull, is the internal auditory meatus. And we have the zygomatic process, which starts here with the zygomatic bone and runs, let's see, I'm trying to remember, runs back like this, goes back this direction. There should be a little piece that's kind of missing right there, poor guy. And then we also have the styloid process, which is going to go from here, over towards the nasal bones. We have the petrous portion. I'm going to have to grab his little friend over here and show that to you, this is an inside view of the skull. And we have the petrous portion, which runs right in here. And then we also have the mandibular fossa. I'm going to use this guy for that. And that's going to be mandibular fossa. I'm thinking. Maybe I'll go this way with this other guy. And it's going to be, it kind of connects eye-wise. I'm having problems. I have a jaw that's missing, that's why. It's this connection right here where the jaw connects, and I'm going to show it to you on this. Kind of right in here. That's where it connects to the temporal bone. And then we also have the sphenoid bone, which is one of my favorites because it's kind of a fancy bone, if you think about it. We have the stella turrica, and that's going to be, it's only visible on the superior view, which would be right here. And then we also have, right in here, we have the optic foramen, and you kind of have to get it in an angle, and you look down inside, and there's the optic foramen. Then we have the greater wing, which I remember because greater is higher, so greater is higher, the higher wing right here. We're still looking at the superior view. And then we have the lesser wing, which is right here. And then we have the pterygoid process, and you can only view that from the posterior view. And that's these little guys, and they just remind me of legs, and this reminds me of a bat. And then we're going to flip back over to the superior view, and we're going to look at the sphenoid sinus, which is a little dip right in here with these holes. The sphenoid sinus is on either side, and that's probably when you get a sinus headache where you feel it the most. Now we're going to go to the ethmoid bone. The ethmoid bone, we have the lateral masses, which are on the side here, and they actually lie up against the occipital bone. Now we'll switch notes here. We have the cribriform plate, which I'm going to go down, and it's kind of the spongy bone right here, and that's the cribriform plate. We have the cristogali. I'm going to rotate it back up, and it's that little piece that points up towards the ceiling. It reminds me of a like a church or a temple. Cristogali sounds like that would be a name of something like that. And then we have the perpendicular plate, which runs this line that runs straight down the middle there. And then we have the superior nasal concha. Superior is higher, so that's going to be right up in here. And then we're going to have the inferior nasal concha, which is right in this area. It's kind of difficult on the ethmoid bones because they all look a little bit different. We also have the ethmoid sinus, which is going to run right up in here, right up at the top. And that's the ethmoid bone. We're getting there. Take a breath. Okay, now we have the lacrimal bones, which are right here. And you can barely, I'm going to rotate a little bit, and it's this orange bones right on either side of your sinuses. If you were to grab your sinuses, if you're stressed, or if you have a headache, those are the bones that you would grab. And then you have the palatine bones, and I'm going to go to my little friend over here, and we're going to flip them over. And actually, I'm going to look at it on the colored one, because you can get a better view. And the palatine bones are the orange bones right here, and they kind of run reddish orange. They run down here. It's actually bigger than I thought it was. I never realized how big that was. And then we have the zygomatic bones, and he should have two, but someone must have punched him because he only has one. So the zygomatic bones are this yellow bone here, and it'd be on either side. And then we have the vomer, which is kind of inside. And it's going to be this little piece that runs, that's going to be right in here inside the nasal cavity there. And then you have the inferior nasal concha, which is kind of this little space down in here on either side of the nasal cavity. And then we're going to finally have the nasal bones, which are right there. And that is the skull.